Hey there, this is Will again from Untied Games. This is the 4th installment of my devlog, and that's development log for those of you not in the know. And this is a series in which I talk about all the stuff I'm working on, and if you've watched the previous videos, you would know that lately I've been working on Project Helirobo, a game about a little robot with 2 little grabby arms and a propeller on his head. And you fly him around and you solve puzzles, and it's pretty fun. And I've got some really cool news. A demo is now out, and it's got a new name too. The game is no longer called Helirobo, because that was always a temporary name. It's kind of the first thing that came to mind with a robot with a helicopter propeller on his head, so I mean, it was always temporary, so now it's Project Atmocopter. I mean, you know, project is just because it's in development, but it's now called Atmocopter. It's a portmanteau of atmosphere and helicopter, which is perfect. And a link to download the demo I'll be playing today is up in that corner, so go click it, go play it. It's really fun, and I'm going to show you the game now. So let's get started. Okay, here we are. This is Project Atmocopter, and it starts out with a nice shiny notice, and the reason for that is because we submitted this game demo for a contest. It's the Intel Level Up 2015 contest, and all you have to do is submit a game demo, and we had this game demo that was almost kind of, you know, kind of presentable, so I finished it in time for the contest, and here we are. I mean, you know, finished. It's not really a finished game or anything, but it's got a playable level, it's got some really cool stuff, and a lot of the cool stuff is actually on the title screen. So that's where we'll be spending quite a bit of our time. Well, not quite a bit, just a little bit, but a lot of it. It's important, so watch. So I'm going to click OK, and you can actually play 3 different ways now. Well, technically, before you could play with a controller already, I just wasn't doing it. Right now, all that's supported is a PS4 controller. Mine is I have a Bluetooth thing in my computer. I don't know the details. It just Bluetooth is kind of magic. I just press the button and it works. So it just works. But I usually play with the keyboard because it's my favorite. It offers what I think are the most precise controls. And for the competition, I added mouse controls / touch controls. And it does give you an option to hide the mouse if you're playing on a touch device. So that's kind of cool. I'm going to click keyboard though, so we can get started. And did you see that? The first important thing just happened. And it wasn't this use up arrow to fly. It was the little meter that appeared above my character's head that said saved when it's completed. So the goal of this this whole title screen here is that it's basically a miniature level. And the goal of that is to get the player to basically learn how to play the game before they play the game. And I've seen it done in other games a couple times, but not to really a full extent. And this is my attempt at kind of a playable tutorial. A tutorial you don't have to just read. You know, because nobody likes to read. And, I mean, we've got this text here that says use up arrow to fly. But then you get to do it. You get to, like, do it and see the results of your up arrow press. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. This is the first thing the player sees after their game is saved. So let's pretend I don't know how to play the game. Let's just pretend. I'm going to press up. Okay, immediately after I got into the air, I entered a little area that changes the text box to say use left-right arrows while holding up to steer. So now the player knows how to steer. So let's pretend I just don't really know anything, and I'm going to continue. Now it changed to hold spacebar to open your arms, release to close. You can pick things up. How convenient! There's something I can pick up here. What do you know? So, now the player knows almost everything they need to know in order to play the game. And once that text appears, it starts to fade out, and this start text fades in. And this is the final thing that the player will learn on the title screen. They will learn to press buttons, because buttons are fun to press. Alright, so we started in a save point, and save points are very easy to use. You just drop into them. As I explained before, that's the first thing the player learns, so that's pretty cool. You always start in a save point to begin a level. And you'll notice that this level is not as pretty as the title screen levels. It looks much the same as before, and the reason for that is because the Level Up 2015 contest had a deadline, and there was not enough time to remake this entire demo level with new level graphics. It would take me quite a while, so let me just explain the level really quick in case you're new. So I went through this little corridor, I ran into these two doors, and took the only path available to me, which is up. So let's pretend I'm just a new player. I would go up and I would hit this button, and not having anywhere else to go, I would fall back down. And I would immediately see that this door has opened. And this button is bigger than the last one, isn't it? And you might guess what that does, and yes, if you've watched the previous videos, in this version it now does it correctly. The functionality was not there, but what's supposed to happen is you press the button, and if you leave, it unpresses itself. So it needs something to be constantly pressing it. And as you can see, this door up here is what it's connected to, and it just closed. So that's why I had the player fly over these little push bots earlier. So I'll just grab one of those, head on over to the button, drop him on the button, and now I can go through. Perfect. I wasn't expecting that to work because last time it glitched out. There's a little secret for you. And I'm just going to save my game again right here. It's not really a precise thing. You can just kind of float on in. As you can see, I'm not even touching the keyboard. It just kind of magnets you towards the center of that area, and then saves your game. And if I was to die here, let's just pretend I'm really bad at the game. Oh no, I got hit by a missile. Oh no, look at these zappers, look at these elect traps. Oh, they're just perfectly placed, aren't they? This level is too hard. Oh, and there I am, back at the save point. Perfect, isn't it? So that solves the problem of not having a way to respawn, which was the case in the last version. So I'm just going to zip through here. And I'm going to zip through here too. If you remember from the last video, this is a little puzzle in which you have to grab the bomb and head on over to this switch, which has a dome over it. And if you'll remember, switches with domes over them cannot be pressed because there's a dome over it. I mean, you can't press it if there's something in the way, right? So what do you do if there's something in the way? You blow it up. I blew up the dome, I can press the switch, and I can be on my way. And if you've watched the previous videos, you would know that this switch is not the only switch required to open these doors. So I'm just going to head up here and save once more. Fly on up here and through this dangerous corridor. I'd like to remind you that the level graphics are just temporary. Everything is not going to just be blue. I'm going to keep flying, and up here, this area has slightly changed since last version. It's not super dangerous anymore, but there's a button that I need something to press it, because I can't keep it pressed myself. And that guy is way too big to keep it pressed, so I'm going to head down here, grab the one of these that won't shoot a missile at me. Whoa, it's getting dangerous in here. And I'll bring him on up. And we can use him to press the switch. Excuse me while I bump into the ceiling a few times. Jeez. I am a terrible driver of helicopter. I have no training with helicopters. Let's keep it that way. Don't want to cause an accident. So we've pressed that switch. We can head back through our dangerous little tunnel. Head through our second dangerous little tunnel. And now we can get these switches that have domes over them. Whoa, whoops. I flew way too close to that missile. Okay, let's see if I can get... Oops, nope. That one did not work. Alright, let's see if I can get this guy. I need this missile to go into this thing. Yeah, we got it. Okay. Now I can press that, and because I designed the level, I know that I need to carry one of these guys all the way up here. Because guess what? There's another switch with a dome over it. So I'll just drop him, trigger his missile to fire, and get out of the way at the last second, and boop, we press the switch. Alright. Now, I can head back down, or I can just die to save time. So I'm going to do that. And there we go, because if you'll remember, I saved here before I went up that little dangerous tunnel. So now, I believe I've pressed all the switches, and boom, the doors are open. So let's head through there. Alright, this is pretty obvious. It's the item that you have to take to the end of the level in order to complete it. That is the main focus of the game right now. It's kind of not fully there yet, but here's the item, and you're supposed to bring it to the end of the level to finish it. And in the future, I'd like to kind of think of some way to teach the player about that rule. So, basically, like I had the player play on the title screen, I'd like to be able to teach them that rule before they encounter it, so they can kind of, you know, not have to read a lengthy tutorial, because nobody likes lengthy tutorials, myself included, although I like to write them. That was one bit of feedback we got from our previous game, Star Reaction, was that the tutorials were quite wordy, so I'd like to cut down on that in the future. So this part of the level has actually seen some changes. You'll notice that there's no longer a button on the floor here, as there was in the previous version. Now there's just two doors that are locked, of course, and one button up here. So I can't keep it pressed myself. What I have to do is I have to drop my special item box, which is an important puzzle feature, because you need that purple box in order to complete the level. And having to drop it, kind of like temporarily sacrifice it, is kind of an interesting mechanic to me, so I'd like to experiment with that a little. So that opened these two doors, and if I were to continue, I would find that I don't have my purple box. So what I can do, and this is the puzzle part, is I can grab this pushbot, drop him up there, grab my purple box, and now I can swap them. So I'll just drop him onto there, he can keep it pressed for me, and me and my special purple box are on our way. And no, I don't really know why it's purple, I just decided it should be purple. It's actually left over from the previous version of this game, which was made in XNA. But anyway, if anyone's interested, I'm using Java and libgdx for this version. and here we are. This is the end of the level. My mouth is kind of dry because this is actually my second take, so I'm just going to press the button, and that's the end of the level. Bam! Congratulations, you've reached the end of the level, or end of the demo, excuse me. You're supposed to bring the purple box to beat the level, but it's not quite implemented yet. I could have pressed the button without it, and it would have done this just fine. Press escape to exit after you click OK. Follow Untied Games for updates. I highly recommend it. And I hope you can download the demo and have a lot of fun. If it glitches out, tell me. If you want to play it on YouTube, go ahead. I just did. It's really fun. So I hope we win the contest, but I don't know if we will. I mean, who doesn't enter a contest and then not hope that they'll win it, right? So, I mean, I don't want to get my hopes up too much because it's still in a very early state, and I know that there's a lot of other talented indie devs out there, but I'm just glad I completed it. I'm just glad I completed it and submitted it on time. So I'm going to click OK, and then I should be... That's weird. Oh, there we go. Boy, that took a lot of clicks. I don't know what's up with that. Well, anyway, after you click OK, you can keep playing, and yeah, there's not much to do, though, because we've finished the level. Hopefully next time there'll be more cool stuff. Well, I mean, I assure you there will be more cool stuff. I don't know if I'll have time to get new level graphics, but there'll be more cool stuff, trust me. So without further ado, thank you for watching, go download the demo, and I'll see you next time in Untied Games Devlog. See you later.